Last night, Martin O'Malley, the former Social Security Administration U.S. Commissioner and former governor as well, gave the best explanation of how Elon Musk is destroying Social Security, but specifically why he's doing it. And it makes a whole lot of sense for us to get this now, because there's a lot of work to do before they actually completely, irreversibly damage it for a whole lot of people. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Security Administration is rolling out more sweeping changes. NBC News reports the new acting commissioner outlined his vision for the agency in a memo to the staff, including plans to explore AI and boost anti-fraud efforts to prevent improper payments. The Trump administration and DOJ have claimed there's widespread fraud at the agency. Elon Musk has called it a Ponzi scheme, suggesting it pays out benefits to millions of dead Americans and undocumented immigrants. But for fact's sake, let's tell you the truth. In 2023, Inspector General report found less than 1% of benefits payments between 2015 and 2022 were improper. And most of those payments were overpayments, not payments to dead people or unqualified Americans. Martin O'Malley joins us now. He's the former Social Security Administration Commissioner under President Biden and the former Democratic governor from the great state of Maryland. I am so glad you are here, because we would all agree
my honor.
Social Security can be improved. But DOJ and this administration wants to cut 7,000 more jobs. What is that going to do to this agency?
It's absolutely going to crater this agency. In fact, Stephanie, I think Elon Musk and Donald Trump and their DOJ team have probably taken all of the actions, or 90% of the actions they need to take, that'll guarantee this agency heads into a system collapse. I mean, at first, what you're going to see is a huge exodus. In fact, they're wasting a ton of money paying people for the whole year ahead to leave right now. You're going to see that huge exodus and brain drain from the very people who understand not only how to code the foundational computer language of COBOL, but who understand the architecture and what's stacked up upon it. Then you will see, as we already have started to, intermittent outages of some of those stacks that allow you to process certain types of claims, or allow you to go onto the MySSA website and check your own earnings records.
How does any of that solve for waste, fraud, abuse, or inefficiency?
It is the biggest waste of money, is taking an agency that's already been reduced by 10 years of House Republican cuts. They're serving more people than ever because of baby boomers like me, raising their active beneficiaries to an all-time high, and yet their staffing is at a 50-year low. So that's why this hits them at such a critical time. I was honored to be there last year. I watched those dedicated public servants turn that leaking battleship on a dime, but it's only this far above the waterline. And after these intermittent outages, or at the same time, you're going to see every wait time go in the wrong direction. After it being made to go in the right direction last year, people are going to wait longer in the field offices. People are going to wait longer on the 800 number. They're going to wait longer for initial disability determinations, which, oh, by the way, more Americans die now waiting for that initial disability determination than ever before. Ultimately, these things are all going to cascade and going to result in an interruption of benefits. How soon that will happen, I don't exactly know, but I believe it'll be in the next 90 days. How long will it last?
Why do they want to do this? I'm pretty sure they know senior citizens vote.
And they've also been warned. Very recently, there was an internal memo saying, wait a minute, this is by the people they haven't already fired. I mean, they replaced a very capable acting commissioner because she dared to stand up and say to this fourth level promotee, this guy who admitted online that he shared information with DOJ and was put on administrative leave because of violating agency policy. I believe that they need to agency and take away its capacity to serve the public in order to turn the public against it. In other words, Stephanie, I believe they want to wreck it so that they can rob it. What they want to do with the $2.7 trillion that was built up in the reserves to cover that baby boomer generation, I don't know. But I do know that all of the actions they are taking are, by any objective person looking at it, these are things that are going to crater the agency and make it impossible for them to serve the public well.
Elon Musk also likes to claim, falsely, that Social Security is a way for Democrats to make payments to undocumented immigrants. But the truth is, undocumented immigrants do not collect Social Security. They do, however, pay billions into it every single year. Okay, they're actually subsidizing it for the rest of Americans who collect it.
And, you know, shame on us, and I say this as a Democrat, they put a lot of money behind this lie in a lot of the swing states. I was always visiting states, and people showed me the mailers that they were sending out and that they were receiving at home. And they were saying, candidate Harris wants to let more illegal immigrants in to bankrupt your Social Security. And the truth is, people working here out of legal status, those so-called illegal immigrants, pay in $22 billion a year for you and me, that they'll never $22 billion a year. There's lots of big lies. And, you know, Social Security, the customer service challenges can be easily solved. But you have to let this agency operate at the traditional 1.2% overhead to benefits that they did every year until about 10 years ago when they started getting cut. And the so-called solvency crisis that's coming up in 2035, also a totally solvable problem. You just remove the earning cap on the highest earners, and that will extend the trust fund that was built up intentionally to cover the baby boomers. There's a lot of lies being told about Social Security, and this, like cratering their ability to serve the public, is all about discrediting the agency. And they need to do that in order to steal from the agency. So the American people, the only thing that's going to save us is if the democracy rises up to stop the steal of their Social Security benefits. So a woman asked me at a town hall just now with Congressman Panetta that I did on the phone before coming up here. She said, well, if they crater the agency in order to liquidate it and to get the trust fund, I'm still going to get back the money that I put in.
Sister.
It's not the way, that's not the way it works. Well, Social Security last year paid out $1.4 trillion in benefits, and they were paid for by $1.3 trillion from all of us that are still working in the economy. And then they took the difference from that trust fund as it was designed to, and why they built up the surplus. So the reason why the democracy needs to stop this steal is because the only way you're ever going to get back all the credits you earned in Social Security is to keep the co-presidency from stealing Social Security and cratering its ability to serve you, your kids, and your grandkids.
So as you can see, this isn't rocket science. We always knew Donald Trump, as well as Steve Bannon, and all the right-wing sycophants, as well as the billionaires controlling Project 2025, they told us what they were going to do. They had it written down what they were going to do. The idea is to destroy the entire social safety net, and wherever government is going to be re-entered, well, you know, you have the private sector at a cost solve the problem. Of course, the private sector in government programs will always be more expensive than if the government did it itself. That's not conjecture. That is not a question. That's a statement of mathematical fact. Now, here is the thing. The people who voted for Trump, many of them believed that Trump and MAGA would be going after, even if they went after Social Security, it would be to go after those undeserving ones. It would be to go over the caricature of who's actually getting support from the government. Unfortunately, when you live in a fantasy, when you live in a lie, and that lie is then effectuated through the policies created by the liar, the ones that suffer is pretty much, or the ones that are suffering will pretty much be you, the ones who voted and believed in the crook that you elected. Because you see, those of us who voted correctly, those of us who made a sensible calculated vote based on what we knew factually. We were prepared, or we are prepared, in the event that these nuts get through what they're going to do. Many are preparing for the worst. But for those of you who thought you were getting a president who cared about you, we have to come to the conclusion and realize that this man, along with all the billionaires, most of the wealthy, they don't give a hoot about you. In fact, remember how those people who are wealthy developed their money. They developed their monies in a system that abstracts the extraction of the wealth of everybody else. I want you to understand that. It's the economic system abstracts the way they extract the wealth from all of you. And it's that abstraction that allows the gullible, or it's the abstraction of doing these things that allow the gullible to go ahead and say, you know what, I am going to have faith in these guys. Well, like I've been saying behind a lot of these videos, it is not irreparable. It's not a fatal sin to have made a mistake, to have made a bad vote. What is fatal, what is the real sin, is after having the facts in hand, not doing utterly what is necessary to make sure that those charlatans aren't able to execute the disaster that they're about to unleash on most Americans. And you know what? Only united, only working together can we actually stop them. I vote for working together to stop them. Accept that many have made a mistake. Mistake isn't fatal yet for most Americans. Work together and solve the problem. Go to your congressperson, let them know you want Elon Musk dumped and you want nothing done to your Social Security, neither your Social Security payments or the machinations that's going on in the Social Security House right now. You don't want people laid off. You want, in fact, people hired to make things more efficient. It is imperative that we get moving on this, folks.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.